I've always thought about how much energy is out in the ocean. I've always thought about how just insane it is, that you can sit there on the beach completely and totally safe with your kids, old people, dogs, pets, parking lots, buildings, totally safe, totally good to go. And 100, 200, 300 yards away is something so powerful that'll rip you from limb to limb, snap your boards, tear down houses. It's just incredibly powerful. And the fact that it's right there and we just can't put our hands around it and gather that energy, it's just totally insane, especially the year 2023. We haven't figured that out.
We're figuring it out.
We're figuring it out right now, and our design does that, and it's taken this long.
Okay, where are we today?
We're just shy of the USS Recruit here in San Diego, which is now a beautiful parking lot outside the hotel where I went to boot camp.
Liberty Station,
yeah.
Once a Navy base, now it was converted to a beautiful
commercial suburbia. Yeah, it's awesome.
It made me think of tsunamis. You're not talking about a big wave, a big wall of wave. You're talking about sometimes it's 3 feet of water. Like it just is, and it's not a break. It's just, you see all that power, you see all that destruction in the tsunami. That's the perfect example of how powerful the ocean can be.
A tsunami is a 20-foot wave that washes up on shore and keeps going into places where the water and the ocean and the energy is not supposed to be. I surfed a lot. I saw a lot of powerful waves. I then joined the SEAL teams and I learned how to operate in waves, not just for fun, but actually to get a job done. And that, I think, gave me a real deep, second look on a totally different plane of how to operate in waves with equipment and to get a job done. And then lastly, with my career in the SEAL teams, I traveled around the world. I traveled a lot. I've been to 40 countries. And it allowed me to see two things: every coastline that the world has available, and then it allowed me to see a lot of people who had a lot of need for energy in places where they can't easily get it. And that's represented in a lot of countries, and a lot of countries that need energy. The potential to install is incredible. The customer base is massive, and it is undersupplied. Yes, we want to provide the world with renewable energy, but let me be frank and clear. There's an enormous amount of money to be made in this as well, and we're making money in the right way. We're not selling somebody a hamburger that's making them fatter and unhealthy. We're not selling them a faster car that they don't really need, that drives 120 miles an hour in a traffic setting they can only get up to 60 in. We're helping the world out. We're selling them something that's required, like it makes the world a better place. And so, yeah, I think it's time to not only start implanting wave energy conversion, but starting investing in it as a whole as well.
Design?
Yeah, people are asking me about this design. It's one of the first things we want to see. And the first thing I tell them is like, listen, I'm not an engineer, and neither is Andres. The ones that we've hired, the ones that we work with, right? They're intelligent, they're awesome, and they have great ideas. But the one thing I always try to kind of impart on people is listen, right? Renewable energy, there's a lot of ideological kind of designs out there. This might not be the absolute best design when you're looking at finances and efficiencies, but we're saving the world, and that should be most important. We've got to be competitive in the energy market, and that's our goal. And that's why we have the design we do. Big reason why wave energy has not taken off is because of maintenance. You can gather way more energy. You can beat solar. You can beat wind. You can produce more energy. You can supply. You can do a million things. But the moment you got to fix stuff, you're behind. It's like, hey, listen, I can go faster in my jet engine car than you and your Prius.
Your Bugatti.
And your Bugatti, right? All right. And I'm going to beat you every time, right? Except it cost me $400 to go to the gas station where it cost you $15, right?
Okay.
So that's kind of the analogies I like to use. What are some of those things we look at? What makes our design different? Maintenance is massively decreased because we're on land. We're not hiring divers, scientists, elaborate degrees in construction and maintenance with years of experience, right? Energy gathering potential, massively increased because we're at the shore and we're able to grab breaking wave. We have pragmatic design that can bring anybody to it with minimal trading, get them to maintain the majority of the equipment and get this stuff running and maintained when the wave events are occurring so that we can absolutely produce the most energy as we can and not stop because something broke down.
So the degrees, the scientists, obviously we're going to need very smart people, but on land.
That's the thing, right? Like,
not underwater.
That's part of the experience that I have that people don't. Once you're underwater, things just become more difficult. When you're underwater, you're under pressure. One, because if you make a mistake, you can't breathe water, right? You're gonna die. And two, crazy, but you're literally under pressure, okay?
It's like going to space.
It's similar to going to space. Any small problem can turn into a life-altering event, right? And that's why I don't want to put designs in the ocean that require people with dive gear on, because it really causes problems. It could really get someone harmed. And last but not least, it's incredibly expensive to have somebody fix something on dive status. Location's key, okay? It speaks to the pragmaticness of our design, and it also allows us to gather the most energy, right? I can't say that enough, but a couple other things it does is it gives us options, right? We have a lot of energy. We're gathering it at the shore. We can immediately turn it into energy, right? But since we have a weight transfer unit, something that stores this energy before we transfer this energy into something else, it gives us options. Do we want to turn that into electricity and power the grid? Yes. Maybe. Maybe not. Okay, well, what do we do with this energy that we've stored? Once again, non-toxically. Well, maybe we pressurize a saltwater container and we provide clean drinking water. It's needed here in Southern California because we have a large population. Well, it's also needed in places like Somalia, Kenya, Nigeria, right? Where they might not have an abundance of water, or they might not have an abundance of clean water. And that also gives those people, right, options. So the other thing we can do, we can provide hydrogen, right? Hydrogen power, which allows us to containerize the energy and then ship it wherever, right? It, depending on customer needs. And last but not least, we can just provide energy. And we can also store it non-toxically. And this does a couple of things. One, it doesn't harm the environment, right? We're just lifting weight into the air, and that weight can be anything: concrete, sand, gravel, rocks, water. Right at the water's edge, why not? And this allows us to have a massive wave event, take in a lot of energy, and then use it, one, when it's needed most, or sell that energy when people are willing to buy it when it's most expensive, right? Which is, I think, something every investor would want to hear. Location cuts down on our maintenance. Everything that we have, that we use, that's valuable, that's complicated, that's expensive, we're not putting it in the ocean, right? And that's just the difference between our design and everybody else's.
Low maintenance, no subsea cables. You're producing energy on the shore. It's already there. It's easier to transfer, right? And then non-toxic storage, energy storage.
Non-toxic energy storage. Massive. Batteries, it's a great invention. You can store energy, but there is a cost, not only in how much it just generally costs, but to the environment as well. So some other advantages I'd like to talk about as well: scalability, right? We've got some wave energy competitors out there, great designs, but they're small. They don't produce an enormous amount of energy. Super intelligent designs, right? But probably not going to power a city. And then we have some massive designs with massive infrastructure, and plan is to carpet these over a vast swath of ocean, okay? And, what we don't have is a singular design that could power a fleet of vehicles at the shore's edge, a small cluster of houses or villages, or maybe a medium scale or large scale manufacturing site, right? Industrial site. And that's what we have here with this design, right? We have something that can go in either direction. And that's important 10 years out. But it's really, really important right now, because right now we can sell a scalable, small design that can go to the market, start making money right now. And that is key. With the right funding, we can put a product to market in the next 18 to 24 months and start giving investors returns on their investment. We had a great meeting the other day. We were talking to some representatives from Alaska, and there were some other wave energy, blue tech people there. There's a group of surfers there as well, and they understood, they could really see through the design, right? and I wrapped up with my presentation, and one of the first things that happened, the guy comes over to me, hey man, have you ever thought about, and I cut him off mid-sentence. I said, have I ever thought about making a surf spot? And he's like, yeah. I was like, yeah, I sure have. And the thing is yeah, you can take this power, and instead of powering desalination, instead of making electricity, you can obviously store non-toxically. You can also hook up to a dredging machine. That saves an enormous amount of energy and diesel fuel, which is damaging to the environment. You can dredge sand. And the thing is what do you do with sand once you've dredged it? Well, you can replenish the beach, or you can put it down back in a different place on the ocean floor, and you can take a surf spot that is so-so. Maybe it's on a scale of 10, it's a 2 or a 3, and you can take it all the way up to a 10. Now, I know what a lot of people are thinking, hey, listen, you're making a renewable energy, you're making a wave energy conversion machine, right? And now you're going to make a surf spot. How's that really going to help the world? Well, I tell you what, having a surf spot where the waves expend all of their power out offshore, it decreases erosion, right? Protects the environment, protects, the ability for animals, what have you, wetlands that need to survive. The other thing it does is it brings in an enormous amount of money.
Yeah.
People travel and they go and they surf good waves, right? And they're out there exercising, doing great things, but it really increases the value of the surrounding land.
So I think a call to action is the surfer community. If you're a surfer listening to this, we need ambassadors. We need people championing the cause, not just our solution, but wave energy in general. It's an up-and-coming industry, and we need all the support we can get.
Yeah, absolutely.
From surfers all over the world.
Invest in our crowdfunding campaign on Raise Green.